okay, I'll write like this. Suppose if your cursor is here, you are going to read 925 and 950. Okay, you are 100% sure you're going to read this, and you know the field name and value. Don't give GU with a qualified SSA. If you give G with a qualified SSA, it starts from top and stop here. Again, a G with qualified SSA, it starts from top and stop here. It is better to give a GN with a qualified SSA. Okay, from here it stops here. It stops here. Okay, a GN also can be given with qualified SSA. So you have to decide when to use GU. Okay, because GU always starts from top of the database, but GN is going to start from the current cursor position. That's the difference between GU and GN. So all these are calls available for you to use. You have to know when to use what. Okay, basically the main challenge of IMSDB is to get the data very efficiently and quickly with less number of calls. So you try to use as many SSAs as possible. Basically, you try to use one SSA for every level, and wherever you know the data, go for a qualified SSA. And if you don't know the data, go for an unqualified SSA. So if it's unqualified SSA, it is going to stop everywhere the segment name matches, and you have to, in the program, you have to have a logic to find whether this is the data you're looking for. If it is qualified, it is going to find. If it is found, it is going to retrieve. If it is not found, it is going to give GE. Okay, now let's see GN. GN is nothing but get next. It's a read sequential. It starts from current cursor position. Okay, current cursor position. A GN can be given without SSA. If a GN is given without SSA, it is going to reach the complete database. Okay, it is going to read the complete database in hierarchical fashion. At any point of time, it is going to read only one occurrence, and it is going to be the cursor moves in a hierarchical fashion from top down, left to right, and front to back. This is a rule: top down, left to right, and front to back. This is also an interview question: how the cursor moves in data IMSDB, top down, left to right, and front to back. And so you have a GN. Okay, what I will do? Okay, GN can be given with without SSA. If it is given without SSA, you are going to get spaces GA and GK. Okay, it could be given with unqual SSA. It could be given with qual SSA also. Okay, the different get unique always will come with qual SSA. So if what is the difference between get unique qual SSA and get next qual SSA? Get unique always read from top of database, but get next is going to start from the current cursor position. So here what is GA? So GA means when the cursor moves up one level. Okay, when the cursor moves up one level. Cursor moves up one level. And GK is cursor moves from one segment. Okay, one segment to another segment in same level. Meaning it is going to move from one sibling to another one sibling to another sibling. Okay, when cursor moves up one level, we get GA, and we get GK when cursor moves from one segment to another segment in same level. So GA and GK are successful status code. So like how we are treating a space status code, You have to treat GA and GK also. But GA and GK will come only for without SSA and with unqual SSA. For qual SSA, it will not get. So with unqualified, and when is the end of database is reached? GB. With unqual SSA, we get spaces and GB. And GB is nothing but end of database is reached. So GA, GK may not come for unqual SSA, will not come for unqual SSA. Only without SSA it will come. Because in without SSA, it can read any segment. Then only it is going to go to many segments. Here, with unqual SSA, we are going to mention the segment name. If when I'm going to mention segment name, it is going to read only that segment. It is not going to read any other segment. So GA, GK will never come for unqual SSA. And with qual SSA, you will get spaces and GE. Like how we are going to get GE here, you are going to get GE. So we use this very rarely. So make sure you use it properly, and you have to check GB also when you are going to do this in a loop. When you are going to do this in a loop. Okay, this is little tricky. So, but you have to note down. And if your call doesn't work, what you do? Make sure you display the PCB. So PCB mask is nothing but a structured DLA communication area. It is going to contain fields like. So what are the fields it is going to contain? It is going to contain database name. It is going to contain segment level, segment name. It is accessing, and it is going to contain status code and number of sensitive segments, etc. And one important field, there's a field called key feedback area that I will let you know about that later. So this is the contents of a PCB mask. So these are the function codes. So we have seen only GU and GN. A GU is a random read, a get unique call, read from top of database, and when it finds a match given in qualified SSA, it stops. Either getting spaces or GE, found or not found. GN is read sequential, start from current cursor position, can be given without SSA, with unqual SSA, with qual SSA. If it with qual SSA, I think okay, you'll not get GB. You'll get only spaces and GE. So this is function code. Okay, let's move on to other function codes. If you want, you can take a screenshot. I'm going to rub this. Just for your revision. Okay, let's see the other function codes. Function codes, let's continue the function codes. So GNP. So GNP stands for get next within parent. Can be given without SSA, with unqual SSA, with qual SSA also. If it's given without SSA, it is going to read all the segments under an established parent. If we are giving unqual SSA, it is going to read only that segment. And if you are going to read unqualified SSA, it is going to read that segment with that field name. Okay, for example, let's take a BJ database which we have seen. In BJ database, there are, so say Bahubali is a movie. There are 1,000 people who rented the movie. 2 people within 1,000 didn't pay. So paid flag will be N. So what we can do, instead of reading a unqual SSA and checking in program whether it's paid flag equal to N, better give paid flag as a part of the qualified SSA. Provided paid flag is a field in DBD. Okay, it should be a search field in DBD. So in DBD, as you are aware, we are going to have key field as well as search fields. Only those fields can be used in qualified SSAs. So if you are using without SSA, you are going to get spaces. You are going to get GA and GK. You are going to give unqual SSA, we are going to get spaces and GE. Spaces and GE. So here GE means what? No more
segment
occurrences. Because we are going to read in a loop. And for a GNP, we have prerequisite. Prerequisite means this should be done, then only GNP can be done. Prerequisite is parentage should be set. How parentage is set? Using a GU or a GN call. Otherwise, we can use command code P. So I'll come to command code P later. The GU or GN call by default is going to set up parentage. So if a GU or GN call has more than one SSA, then the parentage is set in the lowest level SSA, because wherever the cursor is present, when you have more than one SSA in a G or GN call, the cursor jumps from one segment, one SSA to next SSA. Finally, it stops at the lowest level SSA. Only in that segment, the parentage is set. And why do we need to set parentage? If you are going to use GNP, we need to set parentage. And GNP is nothing but a get next within parent. As the name says, get next within parent. If you want to read any child or a group of child, all the children of a parent, we go for a GNP call. So we have to, before issuing a GNP, give a GU or GN with a qualified or unqualified, doesn't matter, but make sure cursor is present in the parent. Then give a GNP. So how long you are going to do a GNP? Till you get GE. GE means no more segment occurrences. So you are going to do GNP in a loop. And GNP, if you give without SSA, it is going to read all the segments, irrespective of any segment types. If you're going to give unqualified SSA, it is going to read only that segment type. If you're going to read as qualified SSA, it is going to read that segment type and that field name and that value. Okay, still you are refining your search. Like when do you use this qualified? I gave an example. If there are 1,000 people who rented a movie and 2 people didn't pay, go for qualified SSA, provided that field is mentioned as a flag. Okay, I came in reverse direction. Let's move on to SSA. SSA stands for segment search argument. It is a fourth parameter in the call statement. There are 2 types of SSAs. One is unqualified. An unqualified SSA can be either 9 bytes or 11 bytes. Okay, 9th byte will be a space. Here 11th byte will be a space. 9th byte is a space. Here 11th byte is a space. So when do you have 11 bytes? When you have command code. For command code, we are going to dedicate 2 bytes. And SSA can be unqualified or qualified. And unqualified SSA only segment name. The segment name will occupy the first 8 bytes, and 9th byte is going to be a space. We are going to have a command code, then 9th and 10th byte is going to be occupied by command code, 11th byte will be a space. And qualified, what is a qualified SSA then? A qualified SSA nothing but it is going to have segment name, command codes, and then it is going to have field name and value. Field name, a relational operator, and value. You can give any relational operator, and you can give logical operators by connecting more than one conditions. You can maximum have 1,000 conditions, 1,024 conditions, but ideally you will not be using more than 2 or 3 conditions. So you can combine the conditions by giving the key field or a search field in the qualified SSA. So it is always a better practice to give more SSAs. SSAs are used in mainly get calls and insert call. It can be used in a replace call only for path replace. It's an advanced concept. I will try to tell you today about the path replace. So it is used in get calls for searching the segment or segment type with field name you wanted. It is used in insert call to tell the system which segment we are inserting. And for insert call, we use unqualified SSA. We don't use qualified SSA. SSA is used for insert call, only unqualified SSA. Tell the system which segment we are inserting. So we saw GU, we saw GN. GU is random read, GN get sequential read, and get next within parent. If you want to read all the children under a parent, we go for GNP. Now we have insert. If you are going to inserting a complete record or inserting a child. So if you are going to insert a complete record, you are going to read and insert in a hierarchical fashion. Okay, you have to read and insert in a hierarchical fashion. It is going to work. Insert in hierarchical fashion. If we change the hierarchy, it is going to fail. Okay, it is going to fail out of sequence error or parent is missing, etc. Okay, if you are going to insert a child, you have to insert parent first and then insert a child. You cannot insert a child without inserting a parent. So it should be inserted in a hierarchical fashion. Okay, it's going to, if you are going to insert not in a hierarchical fashion, if it is going to give either out of sequence or duplicate record, etc. And if you are going to insert a child, you have to make sure you set a parentage first and then insert child. Because when you are going to insert a child, we have to know under which parent you are inserting. So you have to set the parentage either with GU or GN calls or any other command code P. Then you are going to insert a child. Okay, an insert call will be coming with an unqualified SSA always, because we are going to tell the DLI which segment name we are inserting. Okay, we are going to tell DLI which segment name we are inserting. Okay, sorry. So I heard about qualified call, unqualified call, and fully qualified call. There are three types of calls.
Yes, sir.
Qualified call, just interview point of view. Unqualified call. Tomorrow also maybe you'll be having interview. Fully qualified call. What is a qualified call?
If we give SSA in the call, then it is known as qualified call, sir.
Very good. So if you give SSA, even if there is one SSA, we say a call as qualified call. What is an unqualified call? Without
If you
SSA.
won't give any SSA, then it is unqualified call.
Okay, this is just for interview purpose. Okay. What is a fully qualified call?
With the entire SSA, with
The
all
SSA are only qualified.
All SSAs given in the call are
Are
qualified.
qualified.
It's called fully qualified. This is a common terminology we use in projects. Okay, they say give a qualified call. Why don't you give fully qualified call? Okay, they'll be asking this. You should not get confused, and it's an interview question also. Okay, we have seen the 4 function. Now we'll see the remaining function: replace and delete. So if you are going to do a replace and delete, you have to first you have to make sure we hold the segment we are going to replace or delete, and then give a replace or delete. It doesn't come with SSA. No SSA is required, because the one which you are going to replace or delete is being held already. And how do you hold a record? Either using GHU or GHN and GHNP. You're going to hold, if you know the field name, if you know the field name and value, straight away go for GHU. Okay, if you know the field name, if you don't know the value, if you know only the segment name, go for GHN. If you want to, meaning, assume if there are mass changes, it's going to be GHN. Mass changes in different records. Okay, GHN. If it is mass updates in only one record, okay, in only one record, meaning you are going to read many children of a parent. Okay, if you are going to change the medicine which you used, of all the records, go for a GHN. If you are going to change medicine of only particular record, go for a GHNP, because GHNP is going to read all the children under a parent. So the whatever status codes which we use for GU, GN, GNP holds good for whole call as well. It works in the same way, but only difference is, apart from reading, it is going to hold the data. Why are you holding data? Because you're going to do a replace or delete. Without holding, you cannot do this. Holding means what? It is going to do a segment locking. Okay, it is going to segment locking. Okay, only if it goes segment locking means no one can update this record. So there is one more processing option which I didn't tell you. We have processing option GO. Get only. I think I told for one batch, I think. GO means get only. Get only means it's an uncommitted read. Dirty readers. Uncommitted read means someone is updating, but someone is reading, but again someone is updating. So when someone reads, no one should update. Again, if someone is updating, no one should read. Because if you're updating, the one which they are reading, after a second, it may change because you are changing, or it may be deleting also. So after a second, it might not be present. So we should not allow to read if someone is updating. But generally, segment locking will be there only for GO. GO, if your GO is the only call which is an uncommitted read where the data integrity is never maintained in IMSDB. For all the other calls, data integrity is maintained. So these are the function codes. And apart from this, we have a function code called CHKP. CHKP is called checkpoint. It's like commit. Okay, just you can know at least checkpoint. It's like a commit. Committing DB updates. It's another function code. The most used is GU, GN, GNP. These hold calls insert, replace, and delete. Okay, now let's move on to command codes. Can someone take a screenshot so that we will move to command codes? Okay, so what are the command codes? So command codes is a single byte code, alphabetic code, which is going to be given as a part of SSA, which is going to extend the functionality of SSA. Okay, it extends the functionality of SSA. So it is going to make sure the SSA is much more, it is going to narrow down the search. Okay, it's narrow down the search. It's going to make the SSA more efficient. So command codes, what are the command codes we have learned? F for first occurrence.
L.
L for last occurrence.
P for parentage.
P for setting parentage, and
D for path call.
D for path call. And we saw null command code, hyphen. Someone's messaging, okay, no. Null command code. So first occurrence means can be used in a get or insert calls. Okay, get or insert calls. Okay, get or insert calls. So if you give star F, it is going to read the first occurrence. By default, it's going to read the first occurrence. Suppose if your cursor is in the middle, and if you want to switch the cursor to the first, you can use star F if you want. Otherwise, it's widely used in insert call, because whenever you insert any record, any segment occurrence, it is going to insert at the end. It is going to append at the end. If you want to insert at the beginning, you can use star F. So the first in, it's going nothing but last in, first out. Okay, if you are going to use star F in insert call, you are going to insert as a first occurrence. But still, if you want to have any sequence in the segment, better to give sequence keyword in the IMSDB DBD description, so that whenever data is inserted, this database it basically sequence automatically, rather than you are sequencing. You are using star F and star L. Okay, but star L is widely used in get calls. Widely used in get calls mainly. What I will do. So star F mainly used in insert call, and star L widely used in get calls. Okay, in get calls, what happens? Generally, if you are going to get, it is going to read the first occurrence. Instead, if you want to straight away, you want to go to the last occurrence, you can use star L in the get calls. So when you use P parentage, by default, parentage is set with a GU or GN call in the lowest level SSA. Why do you need parentage? If you are going to give a GNP or inserting a child, we need a parentage. So if you are going to if you want to set a parentage on a higher level rather than lower level, we can use star P on a higher level SSA. So this is rarely used. Okay, this is rarely used. Are you understanding what I'm saying? For example, a GU call with SSA1, SSA2, SSA3, 3 levels. By default, parentage will be set here in the lowest level SSA. If you want to set in lowest level, we give star P. If we give star P, the parentage will be set here and not in the lowest level, which is SSA3. So parentage is used, star P command code is used on a different SSA where we have more than one SSA. So if you want to set parentage on a higher level rather than lower level, we go for setting parentage on a higher level. Rather than the default, okay, rather than default level, which is a lower level. It's rarely used. Path calls very, very widely used. So if path call is the only call in which you are going to retrieve the only call in which we are going to retrieve so more than one segment occurrence. Okay, meaning the entire path, the entire hierarchical path. Suppose if you have 3 segments, say like this, 1, 2, 3. So if in one call you can retrieve this complete data. So otherwise you have to give 3 calls because every call is going to read only one segment occurrence. If you want this, and this in one call, in one path call, you can retrieve the complete data. Suppose if you want another path, if another call, you can get these 3 data. So instead of doing 5 calls, in 2 calls you can cover the entire database, assuming there is only one occurrence for every segment. So a path call is a high level call. If you want to retrieve data from more than one from more than one segment, we go for path call. You have just give star D in position 9th and 10th in unqualified or qualified SSA. And remember, whenever you use path call, you have to make sure the IO area is pretty big. Okay, IO area is big because you are going to accommodate more than one segment occurrence. And another very, very important thing is for issuing a path call, you have to make sure you have P path call in processing option of PSB. Okay, if you don't give P, suppose if you don't give path call, and if you are trying to retrieve data, you are going to get a status code AM. AM means incompatible. For example, if you are giving processing option G, okay, in a PSB, and you are trying to insert, you are going to get only G, and you are trying to insert. So that is incompatible. Similarly, if you are giving, suppose if there's A in processing option A in a PSB, and you are trying to make a path call, again it's incompatible. Okay, it's incompatible. Incompatible is not, it doesn't match. You mentioned something there, but you're trying something here. That's called incompatible. You will get AM status code. This is also an interview question. Okay, let's see some status codes. So we have seen the different control blocks in IMSDB. We have seen the nomenclature and some. What is a twin in IMSDB? Yeah. Yeah, more than one segment occurrences of same segment type is nothing but a twin. And different segment types is called as, in the same level is called a sibling. So we saw the nomenclature. We saw, how, what are the control blocks, how to create the control blocks, and how to create database. What are the, how to use the database in a program, and how to give a calls, and the type, the parameters and function codes. Let's see some other status code we have missed, which is insert.
Hello,
Yes. Yes.
sir. When we get the AM while insertion, sir.
See, AM means incompatible. For example, in processing option, you are given G and you are trying to insert, you will get, because you are given only G and you are trying to insert. If you are not only insert, if you try do replace or delete also, it will be AM.
Oh, okay, sir.
Similarly, if you are given processing option A or G and you are trying to do a path call, it is going to fail by giving AM. Meaning the processing option and the option you are trying, the call function code you are trying doesn't match. Okay. So in insert call, you are supposed to check spaces. What is the duplicate? II means duplicate. Okay, and if you are not in a GNP call, if you are not establishing a parent and you are trying to do a GNP call, you will get GP status code. Some status codes also will be checked. Suppose they'll ask you, what are the different status codes you got while working? Okay, can you tell me some other status codes you got while working?
AJ, AK,
AJ,
AK,
DJ,
AK,
DJ,
DJ,
DEA,
DA.
LB,
What?
X,
IX. Okay, IX.
LB,
IX is on. Okay, LB. So what is AJ?
SSA incorrect.
Okay, SSA incorrect. SSA invalid. Basically in segment. Either length or segment name is incorrect. AK also SSA invalid. But it is field. The field you are given is incorrect. What is DJ?
when we are not properly holding a field and we are trying to
hold
replace.
No hold
before the replace or delete, sir.
No hold calls present. Okay, no hold calls. And you're trying to do a replace or delete, you're going to get DJ. What is DA?
Primary key changing.
Yes, very good. Trying to change primary key. We should not touch the primary key for replace or delete. After the hold call, if you are trying to change the primary key, it is going to give DA. LB is duplicate. Duplicate when processing option is LS. Here duplicate when processing option is equal to A or I or GI, etc. Whatever. Okay, here the processing option is LS. Only in LS you'll be getting IX will come only in IMSDC. So LB you'll be getting for duplicate insert. Not only duplicate root, it could be duplicate child also. If you are giving a sequence and unique in a child occurrence, and if you are trying to insert child occurrence, you're going to give LB. Only for processing option LS. And the people, they may be asking, why do you use LS for the first time? Okay, or can't you use processing option A? So you can say for if the file is empty and used for the first time, meaning the database is empty and it is first time we are going to use for the first time, you have to use processing option LS, and second time onwards you can use processing option A. Even for initial loading also you can use processing option A, provided the files are initialized. Okay, the files are initialized, and that's a different concept in vSAN. Probably I will touch base on that. That's a very important concept with vSAN. We'll look into that definitely. Probably it might be missed, might have been missed, and it is important. Okay, so initial loading when the database is empty for use for the first time we use ls. When the database is used for second time we can use processing option a, etc. And we are using for second time database can be empty also. Okay, it need not be. Don't think database can be will be empty only for the first time. Suppose if they write 10 records, if you are deleting all 10 records, now it is going to be empty, but it is already used. So for used database, we have to use processing option. We should not use ls. Only for unused database, you have to use processing option ls. So these are some common status codes. GP means no parentage is set. So these are something we have learned in the class. So command codes,
Sir,
functions.
AM means incompatible, sir.
Incompatible, yes.
Okay.
Incompatible means whatever you're trying, whatever you're defining is not matching. That's called incompatible. Okay, we'll say this suit is compatible for you. This dress is compatible. So it's matching. Okay, this pant and shirt are matching. Something like that. That's compatible. It's not incompatible. Some which is opposite to that is incompatible. A null command code is a command code which is used to reserve the position, and you can in the SSA, so you can dynamically move whatever you want in the program. Okay. So if you want, you can take a screenshot. It is not written properly, but still you can take some screenshot because there are some important questions here for people who wants. Okay. So apart from this, we learned something called multiple database positioning. So I told we can have multiple cursors in a single program in a DB, in IMSDB. How it is possible? It is possible if more than one PCB is pointing to same DB. Okay, same DB. Okay, DB1 or DB1, same DB. So if you are going to, so for a, since you are going to have two PCB pointing to same DB, but in program you are going to have two different PCB masks. Okay, in the entry statement, and any call statement for the this entry PCB mask is will be having a different cursor. Any another call statement which is going to use the other PCB mask is going to you have a different cursor pointing to the database. So we can have multiple cursors in the same database so that we can do a read random, read sequential simultaneously, or we can have different. For example, this database can have, say we have segments like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3 can be here. 1, 4, 5 can be here. Okay, so different path in different. This database is having this path. This database having this path, or it depends on the design. So you can have multiple DB positioning. That's one important thing. And if IMSDB is abandoned, okay, in the middle, you have to do a batch backout. So any IMSDB updates in online or batch, it is going to monitor in log files. Log files are nothing but which is going to have the database before updates and after updates, the before image and after image. So whenever there's a update job, it appends in the middle. You have to tell the operations to do a batch backout. What is batch backout? It is going to restore the database to the previous state, to the original state. Okay, we don't have a commit and rollback like what we have in DB2. Instead, we do a batch backout. We are going to restore the database to the previous changes, previous state. For example, if the job is abandoned, IMSDB. So we are going to have IMSDB with partial updates and log file. So these two will be the input for batch backout process. Batch backout is a separate JCL. Okay, separate JCL. It's a separate program. I think it will be DFS BB00. I have that batch backward JCL. It is going to have the database with partial updates as an input along with the log file. And it is this program is a system program, system utility program like IEB General, etc. This program, what it does, it is going to have these two as an input and going to create an IMSDB minus the updates. So it is going to be restoring. Why it is required? When the job abandons in the middle, to avoid any partial update, you're going to restart the job or resubmit the job. You have to tell the operations to do a batch backward so that they restore the database to the previous state, and then you can restart the job. So it is going to start from the top. There is another way. Another way which is going to replace this, which is checkpoint restart, which we have never seen. Checkpoint restart logic, in which we are going to do a commit periodically. Here commit is using a function chkp, and for restarting we use xrst. It's a function code like GUGN. These two function codes are available, but a little advanced concept. Probably I will let you know. I mean, in case we come across, definitely will be coming across later. I'll send a link where you can read this. I'll give document also with the demo. Anyone got question in the interview? Even yesterday they called it, seems, right?
Yeah, sir.
For anyone, did they ask checkpoint restart? Looks like they haven't asked.
So they asked it. He asked me.
Against about checkpoint restart?
Just a checkpoint, sir, yes, but I didn't know that.
Okay. Checkpoint restart means for a long running job. Okay, it is used only for long running job. So to save time, we do a checkpoint periodically. We give commit periodically. Commit in DB2 is nothing but checkpoint in IMSDB. After whenever we do a checkpoint, it is going to make database changes permanent. So when it is permanent, it is going to delete the log records. And whenever it does a checkpoint, it is going to write commit. It is going to write the last key. Okay, last key and the cursor positions in a log file. And when it restarts, it is going to restore the. It is going to start properly from the last committed record. Okay, there's a different logic. You can say probably it was not done as a part of training. Okay, and we can have secondary database as a part of all whatever I'm saying. All are advanced concept. Secondary database like secondary alternate index for a visa files. Okay, where we can have a different sequence key, unlike the primary key. So we can have secondary DB. It's a separate database like a primary database. So this also is an advanced concept. Okay, but it's not very tough. So all these are advanced concepts like logging the records, log files, multiple database positioning, batch backward process, secondary database, and checkpoint restart logic. So these are some advanced concepts. Let me see the. Just hold on. So any other concepts are missing from what we have seen in IMSDB? We have still more advanced concept, what is called logical database, which is very tough. Okay, and it's out of scope. And logical database may not be there because many people don't know how to use it. So that is the reason we can combine the database and create a new database. That's called logical database. Okay. Okay, there's something called logical relationship. If someone asks what is a logical relationship, probably they might themselves may not know properly. But mostly they will not ask because many people don't know. It's not very tough. For example, if you have two database, we can combine this database and create a logical structure. Okay, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is one database, this is another database. We can combine this and create a structure. This is called logical data relationship, which is very, very confusing and tough. So many people don't know, don't try this at all. But secondary database will be there, maybe there. It will be used only in online, but it is also quite rare. Checkpoint restart logic will be there for sure, for only for long running job. So I'll give the document which I have shared. It has enough information about checkpoint restart. I'll give a demo. I'll just send the video. You can see, but whenever it is required, you may not be encountering immediately. Probably in future, you'll be encountering about this. Batch backout, you are not going to do. If it is in test region, sometimes you have to do batch backout. Okay, for executing a program which is doing updates, past updates like insert, replace, and delete, the job happens in the middle. You have to run a utility which is going to use this the IMSDB with partial updates and the log files. Okay, and log files will be part of the run JCL itself. Sometimes everything will be automatic. Everything will be pointed in the project. So they'll ask you to execute batch backout. But in production support, we have to tell the production support team to execute this batch backout and then restart your abandoned job. Okay,